When we hear the words self-harm, we often think of physical pain, cuts, bruises, or visible wounds. But not all self-destructive behaviors leave a mark on the skin. Some show up in the way we eat, think, work, or even love. They can be subtle, easy to ignore, and sometimes even praised by society. But they still hurt us. That's why we're going to talk about the habits that don't always get recognized as self-harm, habits that might be a sign of deeper emotional pain. If you're here, that means you're willing to reflect and grow, and that's powerful. Quick content warning. This video does touch on topics like self-harm, emotional pain, and risky behavior. Please be kind to yourself while watching. Also, big thanks to Shiriloni, whose comment inspired this video. Your voice helped make this possible. Let's begin. 6. Binge eating. We've all had those moments. Stress, sadness, or frustration hits, and food feels like the only comfort. You start snacking, and before you know it, the bag is empty, but you barely remember how it happened. Binge eating isn't always about hunger. More often, it's a way to cope with emotions we don't know how to face. For some, food becomes a source of comfort. For others, it's punishment. And in the moment, it can feel like relief. But afterward, there's guilt, bloating, and sometimes shame. Over time, this habit can lead to serious problems: weight gain, digestive issues, and increased risks for diabetes or heart disease. If you notice yourself reaching for food when you're not actually hungry, pause and ask yourself, am I feeding my body, or am I trying to hide from something? If it's the latter, try a different approach. Talk to someone, write your thoughts down, or take a short walk. Food is essential, but emotional pain can't be solved with snacks. You deserve nourishment, not numbing. 5. Skipping meals or not eating at all. On the flip side, some people stop eating when life gets stressful. You tell yourself you're too busy, too anxious, or just not hungry. Hours go by, maybe even an entire day, and you haven't had more than a few sips of water. You think, food isn't a priority right now. But that mindset doesn't make the stress go away. It just adds more damage to your body and mind. When you deprive yourself of food, you're also depriving your body of the fuel it needs to think clearly, stay energized, and fight off sickness. Mood swings, fatigue, and low concentration become regular. If eating feels overwhelming, start with something small and easy. A smoothie, a piece of fruit, or even crackers. Something is better than nothing. Your body is always doing its best to carry you through hard times. It deserves your care and attention, even when your mind is in a dark place. 4. Constant negative self-talk. Imagine someone struggling with addiction who messes up and instantly thinks, I'm a failure, I'll never get better. Or a student who gets a bad grade and immediately tells themselves, I'm not smart enough. These thoughts are common, but they can become dangerous when we start to believe them as truth. Negative self-talk doesn't leave physical marks, but it cuts deep emotionally. When you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you're unlovable, or that you'll never succeed, it chips away at your confidence and self-worth. This kind of thinking becomes a cycle. One mistake leads to self-blame, which leads to more fear of trying again. But here's the truth. Everyone has moments of doubt. What matters is how you respond to them. Instead of saying, I'll never be good enough, try saying, I'm struggling right now, but I'm learning. It sounds simple, but changing your inner dialogue is a huge step toward healing. Celebrate your wins, especially the small ones. And don't forget the challenges you've already survived. You've been strong before, and you'll be strong again. 3. Overworking and burnout. Productivity is often praised in today's world. But there's a fine line between working hard and working to avoid emotional pain. Maybe you stay up all night answering emails, taking on extra tasks, skipping meals, and telling yourself, I just need to keep going. Deep down, though, you're not just chasing success. You're running from something. Grief, loneliness, fear of failure. It all gets pushed aside in the name of being busy. But that non-stop hustle comes at a cost. Eventually, the exhaustion creeps in. You become irritable, forgetful, disconnected. Your body starts to ache, and your mind feels foggy. You feel like you're running on empty, yet still not doing enough. That's because the real issue isn't productivity, it's avoidance. You're using work to numb the pain. It's okay to take a break. Rest isn't a reward for working hard. It's a basic human need. Slowing down doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you care enough about yourself to recharge. Ask yourself, what am I trying not to feel? And remember, healing doesn't always happen through action. Sometimes it happens in stillness. You deserve that peace. 2. Risky sexual behavior. Sex can be a way to connect, to feel good, to relieve stress. But sometimes it becomes something else, a way to escape. Some people engage in sexual behavior not because they want intimacy, but because they're trying to feel something, anything, or because they're trying to punish themselves. It might be unprotected sex, extreme fetishes, or hookups with people they barely know. In those moments, it might feel like control or freedom. But afterward, it often leaves behind regret, shame, and emotional emptiness. And then come the risks: STIs, pregnancy, physical harm, and emotional trauma. You might start to believe your body is only valuable when someone else desires it. But that's a lie. Your body is not a tool for someone else's pleasure. It is yours. It deserves love, respect, and care from others, yes, but especially from you. If you find yourself stuck in this cycle, ask what you're really searching for. Is it love? Safety? Relief? Whatever it is, those needs are real and valid, but they deserve to be met in a way that doesn't leave you hurting. You are not just a body. You are a whole person, worthy of genuine care. 1. Using alcohol or drugs to numb the pain. Maybe it starts with just one drink to calm your nerves. Then 2, 3, until the whole bottle's gone. Or maybe it's pills, weed, or something else to help you relax or forget. At first it feels like escape, but eventually that escape becomes a prison. The high always fades. The problems you were trying to avoid? Still there. Only now you're waking up with headaches, memory gaps, or anxiety that feels worse than before. And even then, the cycle continues, because it's not just about the substance. It's about the pain underneath it. The stuff you don't want to think about, feel, or talk about. Substances don't solve emotional pain. They cover it up. But only for a little while. Meanwhile, they mess with your brain chemistry, weaken your immune system, and distance you from the people who care about you. You might start to feel like you need it to survive, but you don't. What you really need is support, expression, not suppression. Strength isn't hiding your pain. It's being brave enough to face it. If you're still reading, that means something important. You care about your well-being. You're curious. You're reflecting. And that's huge. Self-harm doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, invisible, and hidden behind habits we think are normal. But now you know better, and knowing gives you power. It gives you choice. You are not broken. You're someone who's learning how to cope in a world that doesn't always teach us how. And you're here, showing up for yourself. Every small step toward self-awareness and care matters. So what's one small way you've taken care of yourself lately? Maybe you journaled, called a friend, ate a full meal, rested. Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Let's keep growing together. And if you found this helpful, make sure to check out our next video. It might be just what you need.